Beneath the soil of ordinary-looking fields lies a plant so resilient it can survive where almost nothing else will grow, yet feeds 500 million people daily. Cassava, the world's insurance policy against hunger, might be the most important crop you've barely heard of. What you don't know: this unassuming root contains compounds so toxic they can cause permanent paralysis if prepared incorrectly, yet it produces more calories per acre than almost any other food on Earth. Join us as we reveal how this survival crop is transforming from poor man's food into a billion-dollar industry, and why scientists believe it holds the key to feeding our climate-changed future. In the red soil fields of northern Thailand, Somchai Ruangrattanapong kneels beside a cassava plant, his weathered hands working with practiced precision. He grasps the stem and with a sharp upward pull reveals what looks like a cluster of massive brown roots, splayed like fingers beneath the earth. "One plant, one family, one more season of security," he says, wiping sweat from his brow despite the early morning hour. "When everything else fails, cassava survives." This isn't hyperbole. In regions where unpredictable rainfall, extended droughts, or depleted soils have rendered other crops impossible, cassava continues producing its starch-rich roots with stubborn resilience. "We call it the survival crop," explains Dr. Nataporn Kongchai, agricultural scientist at Thailand's Cassava Research Institute. It grows in degraded soils, requires minimal inputs, and withstands conditions that would kill most crops. This extraordinary resilience has made cassava the third most important source of carbohydrates in the tropics after rice and maize. Across Africa, Asia, and Latin America, more than 800 million people rely on cassava as a daily staple. Yet, despite its global importance, most Western consumers have never knowingly eaten it, though chances are you've consumed it today without realizing. In your noodles, energy drinks, or pharmaceuticals, cassava is the invisible giant of global agriculture. Notes Food Systems researcher Dr. Elena Martinez. It directly feeds 500 million people while silently appearing in thousands of processed products worldwide. The plant's journey from indigenous staple to global commodity traces a remarkable arc of agricultural adaptation. Native to South America, cassava was cultivated by indigenous peoples for thousands of years before Europeans arrived. Portuguese traders subsequently introduced it to Africa in the 16th century, where it quickly became a crucial food security crop. What made cassava revolutionary was its ability to serve as living food storage, explains agricultural historian Dr. Thomas Odiambo. Unlike grains that must be harvested at specific times, cassava roots can remain viable underground for up to 3 years. Being able to harvest your food exactly when needed, rather than when the season dictates, was transformative for food security. This underground longevity provided a buffer against famine, making cassava particularly valuable in regions with unpredictable climate patterns or political instability. Yet cassava harbors a potentially deadly secret. Beneath its unremarkable exterior, most varieties contain compounds that release cyanide when the plant tissue is damaged. Improper processing can result in serious health problems, including goiters, permanent paralysis, and in extreme cases, death. Indigenous farmers developed sophisticated processing methods long before they understood the chemistry involved. Notes food scientist Dr. Maria Fernandez. Techniques like grating, fermenting, and heating neutralize the toxic compounds, making the roots safe to consume. These traditional detoxification processes vary across cultures, creating diverse cassava-based foods. From Brazilian farinha and tapioca to African gari and fufu to Southeast Asian kanam, the processing methods not only ensure safety, but create products with distinct flavors and textures. Today, cassava processing has evolved into a sophisticated global industry, with Thailand, Indonesia, and Vietnam leading exports of cassava starch and modified starch products. The humble root has found applications in everything from biodegradable plastics and paper products to pharmaceuticals, textiles, and high-fructose sweeteners. Most people who eat instant noodles or drink bubble tea don't realize they're consuming cassava, says Fernandez. The modified starch provides textures that other crops simply can't match. This industrial versatility has transformed cassava from subsistence crop to commercial powerhouse. Global trade in cassava products now exceeds $5 billion annually, with demand growing at 6% per year, faster than almost any other agricultural commodity. The increasing commercialization has brought both opportunities and challenges for traditional growers. Like Somchai in Thailand, millions of smallholder farmers have gained access to new markets and improved livelihoods through cassava production. Yet market volatility and the concentration of processing facilities in the hands of large corporations create vulnerabilities. 10 years ago, I would sell to whoever came with a truck, Somchai says, pointing to his 7-acre field. Now I have a contract with a starch processor who pays premium for higher starch content. But they also demand certain varieties and cultivation practices. This tension between traditional farming and industrial demands reflects cassava's dual identity as both survival crop and commercial commodity. In response, farmers like Somchai are developing hybrid approaches, blending ancestral knowledge with modern techniques. My father taught me to plant by the moon schedule, he explains, demonstrating how he inserts stem